I challenged my mom to a one-on-one race in New Super Mario Bros. The rules are simple. I have to beat every world in the game before my mom beats a single one. We initially agreed that she would have to go through World 8, the final one in the game, but since I had finished the first world before she even got close to finishing the very first level, we reset and went with World 6 instead. World 6 requires you to complete a total of 9 levels if you don't use any kind of shortcuts, which neither I nor my mom knew anyways. This meant that I would have to go through about one full world for each level that my mom finishes. The run started off well enough for both of us. Mom didn't struggle too much with getting through level 6-1 and she reached the finish just as I had gone through the first tower. Just as I reached World 2, Mom managed to beat her second level, which meant that I was a full world behind already. However, this is where she made a serious mistake that allowed me to catch up again. The first tower of World 6 proved to be very difficult for her, especially its second half with the spiky sticks, which caused her to lose all of her lives and receive a game over that reset her all the way to the beginning of the world again. She was pretty devastated at this and asked me if I would replay the levels for her, but then she embraced the struggle and went back into level 6-1. To the surprise of both of us, she managed to get it on her first attempt.
Ich hab Geschichte beim Ziel, jo, beim ersten Versuch, Mann.
Then she immediately finished the second level as well, which put us right on par again. This time she bought one of the star signs to save before the tower, which allowed her to die as much as she wanted in the level ahead without losing her progress again. As Mom fought her way through the tower once more, I was well on my way into World 3. There were a few select levels that gave me a hard time, but by and large I managed to fly through most of them without much struggle. In the meantime, my sister entered the room and Mom took that as a great opportunity to hand the controller over to her in order to take a break. Unfortunately for her, my sister didn't fare a whole lot better in the tower than my mom had. I finished World 3 with both of them still struggling against the tower. At this point, for the first time in the entire run, my sister managed to reach Bowser Jr., but immediately died to him and promptly handed the controller back to my mom as she rage quit.
Oh no.
Shit.
Soon after that, Mom finally managed to do it.
Jetzt nochmal. Pass auf, pass auf, pass auf. Nochmal. Oh, du hast es, Mama, du hast es. Oh.
She capitalized on her momentum and had soon finished the next level as well. The World 5 castle gave me more of a struggle than the rest had so far, but I managed to beat it before Mom could beat level 6-4. As I advanced into World 6, I wanted to take the time and unlock World 4 first, which I would also have to complete to win the run. To do this, I had to go to the castle in World 2 and beat the boss using a mini mushroom. I got one in an item house and then accidentally went into the World 1 castle, where I first defeated Bowser before I managed to actually eat the mini mushroom, and then beat him again in mini form before realizing that I had gone to the wrong castle. At the same time, Mom went game over in level 6-4 and had to do the previous one again as well.
Ich flambiert wurde.
I tried my luck at the World 2 castle, but died against the boss and soon abandoned my attempt when I struggled to find another mini shroom. We were now both in World 6 and to be honest, I did have a bit of an easier time with the levels here, in part because I'd already seen what I would have to expect from them by looking at my mom's screen during her attempts. After completing 2 more levels, I tried my hand at unlocking World 4 again, but soon failed and retreated back to World 6 instead. Mom was positively stuck in level 6-4, but she was determined to finish it, which she soon did. However, that meant that she would advance to the second tower in World 6, which looked to be just as tricky as the first one. She promptly received another game over, which set her back to level 6-3 again, and this definitely served as a severe hit to her morale. In the meantime, I had reached the final world in the game, but I decided that I wouldn't get started with it before I had completed World 4 and 7. So I searched for a mini shroom and headed for the castle in World 2 again. This time I hit the boss twice before I turned myself mini, which meant that a single hit was enough to take him down. This allowed me to finally reach World 4 and continue making progress. After many struggles, my mom made it back to the second tower, where she promptly bought another star sign to make sure she didn't receive such a setback again. While I easily made my way through the levels of World 4, my mom continued to have a ton of struggles with the conveyor belts of the tower.
Oh mein Gott, Mama!
I tried to tell her that it was probably because she kept accidentally crouching and because she wasn't really sprinting all that much, but it seemed to me like this was just something that was somehow hardwired into the way she played. Eventually, I couldn't help but feel for her, so I offered her a one-time joker where I would play through a single level for her, with the stipulation that it couldn't be the final one in World 6. She had 4 normal levels left at this point, excluding the castle at the end, and any one of them were now a potential candidate for the joker. Unsurprisingly, she chose to let me do the tower that she had currently been struggling with. I only had 2 worlds left at this point, which meant that I was a bit ahead of Mom, although the remaining ones were most likely going to be the hardest and longest in the entire game. Indeed, World 7 in particular had some really slow levels that could have easily allowed my mom to take a serious lead. That being said, she squandered that chance a bit in level 6-5. At some point, my sister made a return and tried her best at saving Mom from this infuriating underwater level. As she was going through that, I was facing some of my own struggles in World 7. In the middle of the world, there are 2 levels that, if you reach the normal flagpoles at the end of them, will simply lead you in a circle to a previous level on the overworld. This meant that in order to continue, I would have to find a secret exit in either of them, even though I had no clue where they could possibly be. My sister then pulled off the unthinkable and beat level 6-5.
Oh shit! Letzte Röhre, das ist die Röhre.
Easy.
Easy.
At which point she handed the controller back to my mom, who promptly saved her progress by buying another star sign. Shockingly, she easily flew through level 6-6 as well.
Ah, yeah. Ich bin fertig.
Was, du bist fertig?
Ja.
Oh mein Gott.
Which left her with only a single level to complete. As she entered Bowser's castle, I was still struggling to find those secret exits. Mom soon suffered a game over and was thrown back to level 6-6, but at this point that certainly seemed to be the easiest level in the world for her, so it wasn't the most terrible thing to happen. This instance of Bowser's castle was probably the worst one that my mom could have gotten.
Wieso schaffe ich das nicht, der Dumme?
The sliding platforms were just too quick for her rather careful movement, and she found herself falling into the lava more often than not. Time and time again, she would fall, and occasionally be eaten by one of the Koopas, which led her towards many game overs. So many, in fact, that I had soon beaten World 7 and dashed quickly towards the final world. Still, despite her struggles, I had to make the dire observation that she was indeed slowly making progress in the castle. Every handful of deaths would allow her to make one more jump and reach one platform further than before. I entered level 8-1, and even though I died once or twice, I soon had it beat. Level 8-2 also gave me quite some pains for a bit, but nothing too crazy. After that, I quickly went through the first World 8 tower, then 8-3 and 4, and the first Bowser castle. My mom was still fighting her everlasting fight against the Bowser castle in World 6, with little hope and no help in sight. Still, there were some moments in there where things seemed to go very well. One time, Mom reached the middle of the castle with only a few jumps between her and the flag checkpoint. More levels opened up for me once I beat Bowser, and I rushed through them with little to no issues. 8-5, 8-6, 8-7 and 8-8 came and went in the matter of minutes. I was now facing the last 2 levels in World 8, and while my mom was bravely facing Bowser's castle in World 6, it seemed like her progress had come to a halt. The second tower in World 8 was definitely on the slower side, but I easily went through it to approach the final Bowser castle in the game. Both my mom and I now only had to beat a single level to become the winner. As I fought Bowser and Bowser Jr. for the final time, my mom fought on. In fact, even when the credits started rolling, Mom still didn't lay down her controller. She fought. She endured. She jumped right until that dreadful game over screen slapped her back into reality one last time.
Nah, so gemein.
And with that, I had managed to beat New Super Mario Bros. DS before my mom could beat a single world. Let me know if there are any other games that you would like to see Mom and I face off in, and I'll make sure to ask her. See you next time.